Ever feel like the business world is moving at like warp speed these days?
Yeah.
Like seriously, imagine explaining dial-up internet to someone today.
Right.
Like, they'd probably be like, what's dial-up? You know,
Yeah.
it's that kind of change we're talking about.
It's incredible, really.
And today, we're gonna dive deep into a book that really tackles this head on.
Okay.
It's called World-Class Value: Leadership Excellence in the Exponential Age by Rob Faw.
Right.
And we're going to unpack what it really takes, you know,
Yeah.
for businesses and leaders to not just survive, but really thrive in this like crazy, fast-changing environment.
Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame now, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
And what I find interesting is that Faw, he doesn't just focus on technology,
Right.
although obviously, like, that's a huge part of it, right?
Yeah.
He talks about how entire industries are blending together now.
Yeah.
And they're all changing at a pace we've, like, never seen.
You're right. It's not even just about like having the latest gadget anymore, right? It's like it's like the rules of the game have changed.
The whole playbook's been thrown out.
Exactly.
And Faw would say that this exponential age, as he calls it,
Okay.
requires a totally different approach to value creation.
That's why the book is called World-Class Value.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's not just about being good at what you do anymore.
Right.
What is this world-class value that he's talking about?
Well, Faw argues that most of us, we kind of misunderstand the true interconnected nature of business.
Okay.
Like, we might be, say, a fantastic engineer, right?
Okay.
But if we don't get how our work impacts, say, marketing, customer service,
Right.
or even like the global economy,
Yeah.
then we're missing a big piece of the puzzle.
It's all connected.
Exactly.
And he doesn't just like, you know, come up with the stuff off the top of his head.
Right.
He actually shares a pretty intense story about how the dot-com crash, you know, that whole thing
Yeah.
impacted him personally,
Wow.
even with like his business background.
That's really something.
Yeah, and it kind of shows you that, you know, even if you're an expert, you're not immune to these like massive shifts.
So I had to be learning.
Right, you got to be paying attention to the big picture.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious, how does Faw actually define world-class value?
Okay.
Like, is there like a scorecard that businesses can use?
That's what's so interesting. You see,
Okay.
unlike, say, the Olympics,
Okay.
there's no like single measure of success, right, in
Yeah.
business.
Right.
But what Faw does is he breaks down what he sees as the 7 key characteristics
Okay, I like it.
of companies that, you know,
Yeah.
consistently achieve this world-class value.
They've got these things.
And he really stresses it's not like a checklist, you know?
Right.
These characteristics are all intertwined.
I see. It's like a web.
Exactly. Yeah, they all
Yeah.
work together.
Okay, so walk me through it.
Okay.
What's the first one? What's he talking about with this world-class products and services?
So it's not enough to just be first to market anymore.
You got to be better, faster, stronger.
We got to be constantly, you know, improving,
Okay.
iterating, and responding to like how things are changing.
Right.
You think about Tesla, for example.
Okay.
They're not just making electric cars, are they?
Right.
They're on this constant cycle of innovation.
Right.
And that's why you see all these traditional car companies, they're scrambling, you know?
Scrambling to catch up.
Exactly. They're trying to catch up.
It's that constant evolution, isn't it?
It's like evolution on fast forward.
That's a good way to put it.
And this need for constant improvement, it ties directly into his second characteristic,
Okay.
which is best practices in information systems.
All right, so what's he saying there?
He actually uses Google's customer service system as an example.
Okay.
Even in the tech world, he says,
Okay.
having systems that just work seamlessly and provide the information that customers need, that is huge.
It's true.
That is a huge differentiator.
Oh, tell me about it. We've all been there.
Oh, I know.
Like you call customer service and you get the runaround,
Oh, worse.
or the website's like impossible to navigate.
Exactly.
When a company gets it right, it's like,
Oh, it's such a breath of fresh air, isn't it?
it's amazing. It's such a good feeling.
Absolutely. And that focus on getting things right
Yeah.
on a company-wide level, that's essential for Faw's third characteristic,
Okay.
total quality management.
TQM.
There it is.
Isn't that like kind of a buzzword though?
It can be. But Faw stresses that it's not just some corporate jargon.
Yep.
Total quality management, it's really about creating a culture where everyone, from the CEO all the way down,
Right.
is obsessed with quality.
It's less about having like a quality control department
Right.
and more about like everyone taking ownership?
Exactly.
That's
Everyone has a stake in it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that ties into the fourth characteristic as well.
Right. What's up?
Which is enhanced customer focus.
Okay.
But again, he's not just talking about, good service with a smile.
Right.
Far highlights the need for global companies
Yeah.
to kind of balance their universal values
Okay.
with a deep understanding of local customs and needs.
That makes sense, because what works in one part of the world,
Totally.
totally not fly in another.
100%.
Yeah.
He actually uses the example of Apple restructuring
Yeah.
to give their local executives more autonomy.
Interesting.
They realized to truly connect with customers in, all these different markets.
Yeah.
They needed people on the ground who, understood the nuances of all these cultures.
Like, you need a local guide.
Exactly.
So, okay, so far we've got, like, amazing products,
Yeah.
efficient systems, this, like, company-wide obsession with
Right.
quality, laser focus on the customer.
Yep.
What else is there? What else makes up this world-class value?
Well, this is where it gets, really interesting.
Okay.
Faw's fifth characteristic is principle-centered leadership.
Oh, okay.
And he really ties this back to long-term success.
Right.
And it really made me think,
Yeah.
you can have, the best product in the world.
Yeah.
You can have this smooth-running machine of a company.
Right?
But if the leadership, if they don't, operate with integrity,
Yeah.
it can all fall apart.
Oh, absolutely. It's like that saying, right? A fish rots from the head down.
Exactly.
Except then, like, on the flip side,
Yeah.
when you've got leaders who are really, like, walking the talk,
Yes.
it can make all the difference.
It's huge, and it's something that,
Golly.
we as consumers and employees, I think, we can sense it, can't we?
Oh, yeah.
There's a level of trust
Absolutely.
that comes with that kind of leadership.
Okay, so, still with me on this world-class value journey.
All right.
We got 2 characteristics left. What's next?
Number 6 is globalization strategy.
Okay, so that doesn't just mean, like,
Right.
being a huge multinational corporation. Like,
And it's not just about size.
okay.
Faw's point is, it's as much a mindset
Okay.
as it is about, how many offices you have around the world.
Right.
He uses Amazon as a great example, right?
Okay.
They started as this online bookstore?
Right.
Yeah. And they've completely transformed themselves
Right.
into this global powerhouse in cloud computing,
Yeah.
AI.
Crazy.
And it wasn't just about, getting bigger.
Right.
It was about fundamentally changing how
Yeah.
they viewed the world and their place in it.
That's a good reminder, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, even these giants, like Amazon,
Right.
they had to, like, adapt and evolve to stay ahead.
Oh, constantly.
It makes you think,
It does.
like, what could your business, your career path, what could that look like?
Right.
If you, like, really embraced that global mindset.
It's about thinking bigger.
It's huge.
And that actually leads us very nicely to the final piece
Okay.
of Faw's world-class value framework,
Okay. Get me.
continuous improvement.
All right, I like it.
He uses a sports analogy here that really resonated with me.
Okay.
He says, even athletes at the top of their game,
Right.
they're constantly analyzing their performance.
Yeah.
Looking for that extra,
That edge.
that edge. Exactly.
Not enough to just be good.
It's not enough. You got
Be
to
better
be striving to be better all the time.
all the time.
And for companies, this means,
Yeah.
looking beyond just the quarterly profits, right?
Right.
It's about fostering a culture of learning,
Okay.
experimentation,
Yeah.
and even, embracing failure as a learning opportunity.
Right, like not being afraid to fail.
Exactly.
So it's not about resting on your laurels.
No
You
resting.
gotta push those boundaries.
Got to keep moving.
I love it, okay? So we've covered these 7 characteristics.
We've gone through them.
But I'm curious,
Yeah.
what really, stuck with you from the book?
Oh, that's a good question.
What were some of those aha moments for you?
Honestly, what really struck me was how Faw,
Yeah.
he brings these concepts down to earth
Okay.
with these personal anecdotes.
Okay.
He talks about this idea of pick up the paper,
Pick up the paper. Okay.
which sounds, super simple.
Right.
But it's really about taking ownership of even the smallest detail.
Tell me more about that. What's the story there?
So he noticed that after he learned about this whole total quality management thing,
Okay.
he started seeing things differently in his everyday life.
Okay, like what?
like a piece of trash on the floor, it wasn't just litter anymore.
Right.
It was like a sign
Okay.
that someone wasn't,
Yeah.
paying attention, taking pride in their environment.
Right.
And he realized that same principle, it applies to business too.
It's so true,
Yeah.
you can tell a lot about a company
Oh, absolutely.
by how they handle the little things.
The little things make a big difference.
Right. Like if they can't be bothered to,
Right.
keep the store clean or whatever,
Right,
what
right.
else are they cutting corners on,
Exactly. If they don't care about that, what else don't they care about?
Exactly.
And Faw argues that this mindset shift, this, attention to detail,
I don't-
taking responsibility, even for those seemingly small things.
Yeah.
That's a real hallmark.
It's like building those good habits
Exactly.
that then scale up to the bigger things.
It's all connected.
I like it. Okay, what else? What else really resonated with you?
There's this other concept he talks about.
Yeah.
It's especially important, I think, in today's global marketplace.
Okay.
It's what your customers don't tell you.
Ooh. What your customers don't tell you.
Okay, fill me in.
So he gives this great example
Okay.
about cultural misunderstandings. Right?
Yeah.
Like just because someone's nodding their head
Right.
doesn't necessarily mean they agree with you, right?
Right.
In some cultures, it might just be a sign of respect
Sure.
or politeness.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And we bring our own,
Our own baggage.
our own stuff. Yeah, our own cultural bias.
Our own lenses.
Exactly, and we're not even aware of it half the time.
It's true. It's true.
And Faw's point is, in a global business environment,
Yeah.
you have to be, incredibly sensitive to those, those unspoken cues.
Right. You got to read between the lines.
It's about listening more than you speak,
Oh, that's so important.
and being open to different ways of communicating.
It's like having that cultural intelligence, right?
Cultural intelligence, that's a good way to put it.
Really, really understanding
Yeah.
where the other person is coming from.
Their context, their background, everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so much good stuff here.
Right.
But I gotta ask, what would you say, if you had to pick the most, mind-blowing takeaway
Sure.
from world-class value?
Mind-blowing.
All right, give me the headline.
For me, it has to be the law of increasing returns.
The law of increasing returns.
It challenges the old way of thinking about business.
Okay, I'm all ears. Break it down for me.
All right, so basically, it's Faw's argument that in today's world,
Yeah.
with the right combination of people,
Okay.
technology, and mindset, right,
Okay.
you can achieve results that are exponentially greater
Okay.
than the effort you put in.
All right.
The old rules of scarcity, they don't apply in the same way anymore.
So it's not even just about working harder.
Well, it's not just about effort. No,
It's about working smarter.
it's about leverage.
Yeah.
It's about, tapping into these forces that can multiply your impact.
I love that. I love that because it's you see it playing out, right?
Everywhere.
Think about companies like Uber and Airbnb.
Right.
They don't own fleets of cars. They don't own hotels.
Exactly.
But they've totally disrupted these industries.
It changed the game.
by leveraging technology and connecting people in these new ways.
Exactly. It's about connecting the dots.
And what I think is so cool about it
Yeah.
is those companies, they were started by individuals.
Right. They weren't, born in some big corporate boardroom.
Right. It wasn't some huge corporation.
It levels the playing field, doesn't it?
It's incredible. It's really inspiring.
That's the power of this exponential age that Faw talks about.
It's exciting.
It's an age of ideas, innovation,
Yeah.
where anyone with the right mindset, the right
Yeah.
approach,
Yeah.
they can create massive value.
It's not about what you have.
No.
It's about what you bring to the table.
It's about how you think.
Right. It's about your ideas, your creativity.
Exactly. And, it all goes back to, understanding those 7 characteristics of world-class value.
Right.
They're the keys to,
Yeah.
unlocking that potential.
It's that framework.
Right.
It's the framework for this new world.
Gives you a place to start.
It's a roadmap.
Yeah. And it makes it feel less
Less intimidating.
yeah, less
Less theoretical, maybe?
yeah, less abstract business concepts.
Right, right.
And more
Like a practical guide.
yeah, like a guidebook
There you go, a guidebook.
for navigating this new world.
Exactly, whether you're,
Yeah, whether you're leading a team
building a company.
or even just trying to make sense of the headlines.
Trying to keep up, right?
Yeah, but I do have to ask,
Yeah.
if it's exponential age
Yeah.
means constant change, disruption,
It's a wild ride.
how do we even keep up?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It's easy to feel like overwhelmed
Oh, absolutely.
by all of it. Well, and that's a question that,
Yeah.
Faw actually tackles head on in the book.
Okay.
He argues that in this environment,
Yeah.
adaptability,
Okay.
a commitment to continuous learning, these aren't just like, nice to have.
Right.
They're essential for success, he says.
It's not even just about like learning a new skill.
It's bigger than that.
It's like learning how to learn,
Yes. Learning how to
be like flexible,
adaptable.
like, how to pivot when the landscape shifts.
You got to be able to roll with the punches.
Right,
You
exactly.
got to have that growth mindset,
Yes.
being open to new ideas, new ways of doing things,
Yeah, like not being afraid to
not being afraid to fail.
fail, to try something new.
Exactly.
Even if it's scary, even if you're like,
Especially if it's scary.
especially if it's scary.
That's where the growth is, right?
That's where the good stuff is.
That's where the magic happens.
I love that.
Embrace the unknown.
And it's about like,
Yeah.
embracing that curiosity, I think.
Curiosity,
And seeing change,
Yeah.
not as a threat, but as an opportunity.
Opportunity for growth, for innovation.
Exactly. I love that.
And you know what I love about Faw?
Yeah,
Is
that.
he doesn't just leave us with like these theories,
Yeah, right.
He ends his introduction with like this really powerful call to action.
Okay, I like it.
He leaves us with a question, really.
Okay.
He says, "What industry do you think is ripe for reinvention
Ooh,
in this
yeah.
exponential age?"
I like it.
And I think even more importantly, he says, "What might world-class value look like
Oh.
in that space?"
That is such a good question. That's a great place to like kind of,
Wrap it up.
like wrap up this deep dive.
Leave people with something to think about.
Because it's not just about like understanding the world as it is.
Right.
It's about like envisioning the world as it could be.
There you go.
Right. Exactly.
And then like having the courage,
In the audacity.
yeah, to step up and make that vision a reality.
And that's something I think we can all be a part of,
We all have a role to play.
no matter where we are on our own journeys.
Absolutely. And who knows?
Well, no.
Maybe by like,
Yeah.
embracing these principles of world-class value,
Right.
we can not only like, achieve success in our own lives,
That's right.
but also like contribute to a better world,
A better world for everyone.
a more innovative
A
world.
more equitable world.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
Well, hey, thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
My pleasure.
We'll catch you next time
Thanks, good.
when we unpack another fascinating topic
Looking forward to it.
and uncover those actionable insights that can help you thrive
Absolutely.
in this ever-changing world.
It's a wild ride out there.
It is a wild ride. We'll see you next time.
It's